Hi there. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about solving quadratic equations from standard form. Okay, so we've already seen some stuff that we can do with standard form, but it involves converting our equation to vertex form. Okay, today I want to show us a formula. It's called the quadratic formula, and this will allow us to work straight from standard form. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to show you the formula, and in class we're going to figure out where it actually comes from. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be about showing you the formula and seeing how it works. Okay, so the formula says if we have a standard form quadratic that equals 0. Okay, so that's really important. Standard form quadratic that equals 0. So we have an a value, a b value, and a c value. Okay, then this is what the formula looks like. Okay, so I want to point something out. Okay, the a value appears here and here. Okay, the b value appears here and here, and the c value appears here. Okay, all right, so the formula is negative b plus or minus this. So there's our plus or minus again that we saw when we were solving with vertex form. Okay, so negative b plus or minus, so that's going to give us two answers. The square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do our first problem. Okay, so the first thing we're going to write down is, well, first we know we have to find the x-intercepts for this. Okay, so this is the same as me asking you to solve the equation 0 is equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. Right? So finding the x-intercepts is like solving the equation when y equals 0. Okay? So first thing we got to do is we got to label our a. So our a is 2, our b is 3, and our c is negative 5. Okay, so ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to write down the formula. Okay, so if we have an equation that looks like this, which we do, we know that x is going to be, and now you're going to have to remember this formula, I'm sorry, but it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to fill in these numbers. Okay? So x equals negative b. So that's negative 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So 3 squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, and now all we have to do is simplify this and solve. Okay, so I really encourage you to take this step by step. Okay, so negative 3 plus or minus, so we're going to work in the square root first, so 3 squared is 9, minus 4 times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40, and we have minus negative, so that'll be plus 40. Right? So 4 times 2 times 5 is 40, negative negative makes it a plus, and that'll all be divided by 4, because it's 2 times 2. Okay, so let's simplify in the square root a little bit more. That's 49 divided by 4. Okay, so we are left with negative 3 plus or minus 7 over 4. Okay? Now, I want to remind you that this is actually two different answers. Okay? So this means that x is equal to negative 3 plus 7 over 4, which equals negative 3 plus 7 is 4 over 4, which equals 1, or x is equal to negative 3 minus 7 over 4, which is negative 10 over 4, or negative 5 over 2. Okay, so there are our two answers. X is 1 and X is negative 5 over 2. Okay? Alright, so if you need to see that example again, please rewind. Okay? But you see how we started with standard form, used our quadratic formula, and we got two answers. Okay? So now let's see another example. Okay? So in this example, I don't have standard form yet. Okay? What I have to do is I have to have one side equal 0. Okay? So the way to do that is to move all these terms over to the other side. So that means I'll have 3x squared minus 4x minus 8. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to write out our formula again. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, I also want to write down what a is, what b is, and what c is. Okay, notice that the b is negative this time as well. Alright, and now we're going to go on and substitute. So x is equal to negative b, so that'll be negative 4. Okay, so negative b, the b is negative, plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so now we just need to simplify. So negative 4 is positive 4. Negative 4 squared is 16. Minus negative is going to be plus. 4 times 3 is 12, times 8 is 96. Okay? So we're almost there. So we're just going to keep simplifying little by little. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work with that part. So this is going to be 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 plus 96 is 112 over 6. Okay, now I want you to remember here, root 49 was 7, so that was easy. Here, root 112, well, I don't know what the square root of 112 is, okay? But that's fine. What we're going to do is we're now going to get out our calculator, and we're going to give our two answers, okay? So with our calculator, I'm going to calculate the square root of 112. And I'm going to have one answer is going to be 4 plus the square root of 112 over 6. And the other answer is going to be 4 minus the square root of 112 over 6. Okay? So we're going to do 112 square root. And the square root of 112 is 10.58300. So we're going to round to 2 decimal places, so 10.58. Okay? So that means that this is 10.58 and this is 10.58. Okay? So now this answer ends up being 4 plus 10.58 is 14.58 divided by 6. We can do that on the calculator. Okay, so 14.58 divided by 6, that's 2.43. And our other answer is going to be 4 minus 10.58. So 4 minus 10.58 is negative 6.58 divided by 6, which is 1.096, which we can round to negative 1.1. So negative 1.1. Okay? So again, two answers because of that plus or minus. Okay? Good? So there's answer number 1, answer number 2. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to solve this one and bring it to class. Okay? All right, that's all.